Yeah, so when you understand the concept of this being carried over, and now making black people feel bad for addressing the issue of racism, and them even calling themselves racist, which is the one of the prime examples of our mental illness, the mental illness that we have received because feeding into everything that Europeans have put out there and taught us, shit like that. So when you the doctrine of contraception, just the doctrine of contraception from the beginning, all of the things that they have taught, not just black people, but all the things that they have taught us in elementary school, from saying that the founding fathers came here from resisting against the queen and fighting for religious oppression and all that, then this here crushes two big concepts, because so many of the presidents that you see are kissing the hand of the queen. So how could you have ever been fighting the queen? They be kissing the hand of the queen every time you turn on CNN. And also, if they were coming here for religious oppression, then that would mean the Jews in Hitler and the whole Holocaust thing really don't mean nothing, right? Because isn't Germany in Europe? Isn't Germany in Europe? So if the founding fathers came here for religious oppression, that means what happened to the Jews wasn't nothing special, because religious oppression was coming there anyway, right? Okay. So these are the things that we have fed into already from the base. From the base. Things like the 13th Amendment, the Bill of Rights. You know, black people have no entitlement to the Bill of Rights, really. Their freedom of speech is our disorderly conduct. You understand? Their freedom of speech is our disorderly conduct. You know. And just the prime example, when they first seen us, you know, when they first encountered people of African ancestry, you know, they seen these big old faces on these pyramids and all these, and that's why they shot the faces off them. That's why Alexander the Great, Alexander whatever, you know, commanded his soldiers to shoot off the noses and the faces of those big old monuments that they seen, because they were scared of them and they didn't understand how it was built. These are people who thought that the earth was flat, who thought that they could sail off the planet, you know, at one point. Just 600 years ago, 700 years ago, whatever. These are people who thought they could sail off the planet. And when they first seen, like I said, when they first seen these statues and pyramids, they shot the nose and faces off them. And it goes back, it's the prime example of the saying when they say people fear what they don't understand. People fear what they don't understand. And that's why it was important. That's why it was key that they beat the English language into us. That they beat the English language into us in slavery, so they could finally understand what we were saying, and they didn't have to be scared anymore. You know, because it's just like today. It's just like today when if you're around a different culture or ethnicity of people, and it's a group of them, and they're talking or whatever, you know, and you wonder like, what the hell are they saying or whatever, you know. And if it's in a serious setting, you know, or in the streets, you could be thinking, hell, they might be trying to set me up or some shit, you know, whatever. So this is the xenophobic nature that has been emitted from European culture to African people, because we fed into so much of this forbidden fruit, you know. And when I say your savior is their destruction, your savior is their destruction. Just in all of your liberators that have come, they have always conspired against them or seen them as an enemy or whatever. Because so much of your oppression, point blank period, is their wealth. Your oppression is their livelihood. Just like the movie The Purge, you know, the whole thing plays out where you have it's really a modern runaway slave film where you have this black man running away from these people in suits and shit, and he runs into the house of this white man who's seemingly not so racist, seemingly not racist or whatever, but, he's trying to throw this black man back outside to the killers because he's in fear, supposedly. Or whatever. And it shows you, it really paints the relationship, and it illustrates the relationship of the vast majority of white people in America and black people in our relationship and what's going on just right now.